Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're comparing the best mid-tier TVs, and it's great that mid-tier prices are dropping. I decided, you know what, I have the U7QG working at the QM7K, and I decided to compare it to my reference mini-LED, the Sony Bravia 9, and the Hisense U8QG, so you guys can see, wait, what happens if you go from mid-tier, which is the U7QG, and jump to the U8QG. And of course, we are using Jennifer Gallo's content. The U7Q is on the bottom left, and the U8Q is on the bottom right, QM7K top left, and the Bravia 9 top right corner. Hey friends, want to upgrade to Windows 11 Pro but can't afford the official price of $199? How about $21 or Windows 10 for $16 with my discount code SF20? Thanks to our sponsor, Whokeys. Yes, Black Friday is here. Get an additional 30% off with my code SF20. Go to Whokeys.com, add Windows 11 Pro to your cart, apply my discount code SF20, and bam, only $21. Here's how we activate it. Go to your Whokeys account at the top right under User Center, click on My Purchased Orders, click on View Keys and Code. Click Get the Key. Copy the Windows 11 Pro key under Code Card. Then go to your system settings, scroll down and click Activation. Click Change Product Key. Paste the key code, click Next, and you're done. So don't miss out on these amazing deals. Click on my links in the video description below. So we will use the Bravia 9 as a reference for the other three TVs to see how close they can get to the best mini LED image quality. Not necessarily the brightest, but as far as shadow detail, color accuracy, I think the Bravia 9 sets the standard. And black levels, shadow detail, we're going to look at all of that today. And I'll tell you right now, this U7QG is pretty bright. Well, all these TVs are. If you look at it, right, it's amazing that these mid-tier TVs, I'm talking about U7 and the TCL QM7, these are their quote-unquote affordable ones. And right now, summer, I said midsummer is when the deals hit. Well, here we are, $700 for either one. So I think that's great. Now, this is interesting. The QM7K gamma is at 2.2. That is its default out of the box. And so in some scenes where we do real content, Netflix, movies, and all that, you're going to complain and say, wait, why does it feel a little bit brighter? It's because the gamma is at 2.2. Out of the box, the U7 most closely matches the white point of the Bravia 9, whereas the QM7 and the U8QG, a touch warmer. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is why I like this one, because it's a face and it's white, and you'll see the white point of the different TVs. And it's close enough that I'm not offended. Like, oh, you know, this is a bad TV. But definitely, they're not all the same, with the U7, surprisingly, most closely matching the Bravia 9. Okay, so this is one where the U8Q, if you notice, well, first of all, the QM7K is clearly the least bright, right? The Bravia 9 and the U7Q, very similar in brightness. U8Q is a little bit brighter. All right, so the Bravia 9 has the best gradient detail. And this is where you pay the big bucks, right? Right here, there is the most shadow, or rather bright gradient detail in the clouds in the Bravia 9. And this is a bright scene in that area, right? Not only is the Bravia 9 brighter, this part is the brightest, right? And then it slowly the gradient comes out. On the U8, this entire area is bright. There's no subtlety. And the QM7K is just dim. The U7 is almost as bright as the U8, almost, but it lacks the subtlety coming out. You got a bright point, and then it separates itself from the rest. U8Q, very close, but the U7 is a step or two behind the U8, and the Q7, M7 looks like it's SDR. But we're not done. Look at this. What's popping right here? The sun on the Bravia 9. Again, the separation. It's popping out. This is close on the U8, and right here the QM7 can't even do it. And it's not for lack of dimming zones. This is all software. The U7 looks amazing here. It's not overbrightened. It is almost a near match for the Bravia 9. And that's why we always talk about, right, is what are you watching when you're watching TV? Are you watching mostly Netflix and stuff? If you are, do you need the U8Q? So this is bright color against a dark black background. And look at that. Now, when have we ever seen, let me run it up even higher, the exposure, because this is just brilliant. All of these TVs. So you guys know that the Bravia 9 has set the standard for black levels. Look at this. Is this not shocking that the Bravia 9 actually has a little bit more blooming than the other three TVs? This is telling me that, wow, this is pretty impressive what the U7Q, QM7K, and the U8QG are doing for, we're talking just the base luminance, black levels, and blooming control. We're not talking image processing to the degree of skin tones and all that. We're just talking kind of like the brute forcing of contrast. This is very impressive. So I have to say good job to the mid-tier TVs, because at under 800, I did not expect to see this at all. Now, this is where the Bravia 9 is going to flex. So it has the most black level separation between the stars. Let me get maybe another scene. Okay, right here. This is a good one. All right. So this is where the Bravia 9, you can see, oh, it has the most black level separation right here. But look how close the other TVs are. Normally in the past, it'd be a giant mess with the less expensive TVs. And I'm looking at the U7QG, and I'm thinking that looks the most like the Bravia 9. Actually, you know what? Let's go to skin tones, because I want to show you guys something with the skin tones in this one. It feels like the Bravia, so the Bravia 9 has the gamma, the lighting, perfect. The U7 is the only one that comes close to it. The other two are over brightened. It's the U8 because it's a bit bright. It looks like it's desaturated, but I think the U7 most closely matches the Bravia 9. So that's kind of cool, right? That you're paying $700 or 800, whatever it is, and we know shutter detail is hard. And the U7 nails it, and the U8 actually got it wrong. This only confirms the U7 is the better TV. I'll go pause right here, right? Full screen green, and I'm speechless. I thought the U8 would be the brightest TV here in SDR Sports, and it's the U7. For everything that we've mentioned before, and if you just tuned in, three things, I think there was three, maybe four, that the U7 did better than the U8 and better than QM7. One, color accuracy in normal content, luminance accuracy, right? Shadow detail, skin tones, and bright SDR sports, which is almost all sports. 5 things, I guarantee you, there will not be a better 65-inch, $799 TV than the U7QG. And I mean, look at this. Look how good this looks right now, right? So yes, U7 is the TV to have even in a bright room, by the way. The U7QG nails it, because you saw how bright it got. It matched and exceeded the U8 in some scenes where the brightness is there. So the U7 has taken the lead in front of the QM7K as my, or QM6, sorry, QM6K was my value leader. The QM6K was what, is currently $599 maybe. For an extra 100 and change, I would get the U7. The U7 and the Bravia 9, their brightness is spot on. QM7, U8, a little bit over brightened. That's why it looks a little bit brighter. Everything's a little bit brighter. But that's pretty, you know, you can't, no perfect TV, right? With a U7, you're getting the subtleties that you'd expect from U8, but U8's kind of like brute forcing it a little bit. Wow, that Bravia 9 and U7 really looks similar. That is very impressive. And the QM7 and the U8 look more similar. So I am very impressed by all 3 of the cheaper TVs, because the Bravia 9 better be near perfect for that much. I think it's $2,400. But the U7 is really impressing me. This is how the TVs kind of look, right? They're more similar than different. Subtle differences. If you're watching normally TV, news shows, any of these TVs are fine. HDR, obviously, Bravia 9 is the standard. U7 surprisingly comes closest to the Bravia 9 more often than not if you're watching stuff that's under 2,000 nits, which is literally everything that you stream. But if you're watching Jennifer Gallow's content, U8QG comes a little bit closer in terms of that brightness, the peak brightness, but I don't think that's important. I think the U7QG, what it does well for under $800, which is what most people would be shopping at, this is the TV I would get over the QM7K and over the QM6K. I'd pay a little bit more for the U7QG because of its color accuracy with respect to the Bravia 9. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me, my friends.